Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and you're watching Overreaction Sunday. I'm going to be a overreactor to every single game to the Raiders the entire season long. So what I want y'all to anticipate is some crazy rumors, some crazy speculation, the top trending storylines after every single Raiders game. That's what I'm going to talk about in my overreaction segment the next morning after a Raiders game. Now, obviously, if this was a real game and the Raiders lost 24-23 the way that they did after having a second half lead, I would hit that panic button. And I was literally just talking to Chugs before this show started, and I was like, I shouldn't have put AP in this, right? And I didn't, because anybody that's freaking out over the Raiders losing this game or how the end of the game happened with Antonio Pierce, that it was even too much of an overreaction, that I couldn't even make this show. Everything is okay with AP. Everything is okay with the Raiders. The Raiders starters flat out outplayed the Minnesota Vikings. Congratulations to Minnesota getting their first preseason win since 2019. Let's go to the very first overreaction, though. Aidan O'Connell is the Raiders quarterback one. This is an overreaction. I don't think that it's fair to make any kind of statement in regards to Gardner Minshew or Aidan O'Connell in terms of this guy has the quarterback job in the bag. Aidan played well. Gardner Minshew played well, and I think we enter this situation into this next game going into the Cowboys game on August 17th in the exact same situation that we're in now. I will say, you got to be pleasantly surprised. Aidan 7 of 9, 76 yards, but it's where he started that drive all the way back at like the 96 yards. You would have liked for them to be able to punch one in and be able to get a touchdown. They still were able to put up some points on the board. Daniel Carlson, he was 3 for 3 in this game. You were able to trust your kicker, and I was going to freak out if another Raiders-Vikings game was going to end in 3-0. But realistically, I saw Aidan today. He played well. He looked comfortable in the Luke Getsy offense. But a lot of people were like, Mitch, Aidan played well. He only played one drive. He's no doubt the quarterback one. That's an overreaction. My question, though, is let's go down to the comment section. That's what this show is about. I think being able to have healthy debates is what makes sports great. It's what makes the Raiders Report great. So who is the quarterback one? Spam AOC or type GM. My answer is it's Aidan O'Connell right now, because Ty goes to Aidan O'Connell. And when you entered the preseason, when you entered training camp, when you entered May, June, and July, Aidan was the de facto QB1. And until Aidan loses that job or Gardner takes over that job, you got to think of it as they're both split in QB1. But I think if the season were to start today, Aidan would be the starter against the Los Angeles Chargers. Let's go to the next topic here on Overreaction Sunday, and it's around Gardner Minshew. And Minshew, after he had a solid preseason game against the Minnesota Vikings, deserves to start against the Dallas Cowboys in that second preseason game. Guess what? This is Believe It, baby. And I'm not sitting up here saying that Gardner deserves it more than Aidan O'Connell. No, that's not what I'm doing at all. I'm doing, let's have a fair quarterback battle. Aidan played well. Gardner Minshew played pretty damn well. In fact, I do think if I were to do a grading system out of 0 to 100, I'd give Aidan an 80, and I'd give Gardner Minshew maybe like an 82 grade, right? 6 of 12, had a really nice play, threw one up to Tre Tucker. He makes a lot more happen with his legs and is able to extend some plays. You saw him pick up a clutch first down with his legs on third down. 117 yards, a nice touchdown pass to DJ Turner. The QB style is so different, but because both of those players played well, I think Gardner deserves to go out there with the first string offense, with the first string players, going up against potentially a starting caliber defense in the Dallas Cowboys. And I just want to see what Minshew's got, because if you just continuously let Aidan go out there with the ones and Gardner's more with the backups, well, then you're already telling us where you sit here with this quarterback battle, and I'm just wasting everybody's time. I want to see Minshew go out there to help make this quarterback battle the best it possibly can, and that means Minshew deserves to start against the Dallas Cowboys. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to the Raiders Report. I want to get to 172,000 subs. We are trekking all the way up to 200K. We need 845 subs, and I'm trying to get to that number by the time we go up against Dallas. My fiance is a Cowboys fan, so any bragging rights I can get this week, believe me, I'm going to need them. Let's go to the next one here on Overreaction Sunday. It's Jakorian Bennett. He is not a starter on this Raiders defense. This is a overreaction. I know when the Raiders defense came out there on the field, I was like, Where's Jakorian? I don't see him out there. They went with 5 defensive linemen on the front. It went with Max Crosby, Adam Butler, John Jenkins, Christian Wilkins, Malcolm Kuntz. And on the back end, you got Tre'von Moehrig, Marcus Epps, Nate Hobbs, and Jack Jones. The reason why I do think this is an overreaction is because I wonder if Antonio Pierce went with that formation based on the team that they were playing, a Vikings team that they probably thought was going to try to run the football a little bit more. But then once you saw the team go out there with three corners, Jakorian was the dude that went out there, and I actually thought he did an okay job. Nobody else really did all that great from a corner's perspective. Hobbs played well. Jack Jones obviously played well with that nice little interception on J.J. McCarthy, and I kind of think it's funny, the amount of people right now on social media that are like, J.J. McCarthy looked amazing. He's no doubt going to be good. I mean, maybe it's just me. Did we not watch the same game? I thought McCarthy against the Raiders starting defense didn't look all that great. And then once the defense in the second, you had the third string and the fourth string guys go out there, McCarthy played a lot better. But I know some Raider fans are like, Raiders don't trust their cornerback three. That's why we should go out and get Stephon Gilmore. It is worth noting Stephon Gilmore is actually going to be visiting with the Minnesota Vikings on Monday. So even though Jakorian didn't technically start, he is still the cornerback three on this roster. Shout out to today's sponsor, Game Time. They sponsored our entire watch party. We had an unbelievable audience. We had John Scheffler going wild. We had guys like Justin Abgen going wild. And if y'all are trying to go wild in person at an actual Raiders game, here's the one spot that you got to go to. Because the preseason, it's here, but the regular season is right around the corner. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. For the nation out there, I love the lowest price guaranteed. And if you find a lower price, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Seat views, so you can get that panoramic look from your seat on the app before you buy. So in case you weren't paying attention, this link is going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Raiders games, baseball games, concerts, theater, and a whole lot more. Let's go to the next one here. Tyree Wilson is a bust. The amount of fans that during our live stream were like, he looks slow, he doesn't look good. I am a little bit concerned, but this is still a bit of an overreaction. I want to see what Tyree Wilson looks like next to our starters. He didn't really get too many opportunities out there as a starter. Is he a bust as a defensive end? Dude, man, he scared me today as a defensive end. He doesn't look like he has the burst, doesn't look like he has the quickness. He's probably built more to be a defensive tackle. And what I learned today was that Adam Butler, when you look at that defensive line, when you think of the rotation, I was hoping that Tyree Wilson would be the fifth guy on the defensive line. I think now what you're seeing is Adam Butler is above Tyree Wilson. We're going to have to bump Tyree down that list because it was Adam Butler, Max Crosby, John Jenkins, Christian Wilkins. The Raiders are very confident in their defensive tackles, and the last time I did a 53-man roster, I was thinking maybe Charles Snowden could make it. I don't have that feeling anymore. Byron Young scared me a little bit. I thought Nesta Jade-Silvera looked pretty good. Marquand McCall's a big body up the middle. But realistically, man, from top to bottom, I think they're going to end up keeping an extra defensive tackle based off the defensive line they went with. So let me know down in the comments section, who do you think was the Raiders' preseason Week 1 MVP? And this was a tough one. I would say the MVPs, realistically, I think Tre'von Moehrig deserves to be up in that conversation. I think a player like Gardner Minshew, Aidan O'Connell, both deserve to be in that conversation. Tre Tucker, Jack Jones had a nice interception. Maybe a guy like DJ Turner. Hell, Daniel Carlson, he was 3 for 3 on field goals, 2 for 2 on extra points. But let me know down below who you believe the Raiders' preseason Week 1 MVP was. I mentioned Tre'von Moehrig, and that's where I'm going to go next here. And we kept on getting asked during the live stream, man, I'm surprised Moehrig's still out there. Moehrig is one of the smartest players, led the team in tackles in this game with 6. And does he deserve a contract extension? If I'm the Raiders and I watch Moehrig play, and I've watched him develop, and I've watched him develop for many years now, he's getting better and better and better. He's only 25 years old. And yes, I'm telling you right now, believe it, baby, the Raiders need to extend this guy because the longer you let this go, the more and more money it's going to cost you. I have seen enough out of Tre'von Moehrig to know that this is a young man that I want on this Raiders defense for multiple years down to come. He's got 1 year left on his deal. I don't want him to hit free agency next year. And I know we're going to get into a difficult situation with Marcus Epps, but if we do really like Isaiah Paulame, who as much as we do like him, I think what you do if you're the Raiders, you go, all right, I'm okay with losing Marcus Epps next offseason. Maybe you can figure out a way to keep both. But Moehrig is a guy that I just, unfortunately, you cannot afford to lose. He is a hell of a defensive player. He's a breakout candidate. I think he's one of the most underappreciated safeties in this league. And at 25 years old, give him a 2-year extension, time to Max Crosby, and let's keep this thing working. Because as far as I'm concerned, he's already proven enough to you. You can't lose this guy. I got 2 more overreactions coming up here on today's show. But if you don't know, Chugs and I, we're going to be in North Carolina September 7th. And September 8th for a Week 1 watch party. Go to chatsports.com/week1 to claim your free watch party tickets. It's going to be a hell of a time. And if you want to play a little Top Golf with us the night before, think of it as like a night before party. It starts at 8 p.m. Well, that's late. 8 p.m. Go to chatsports.com/topgolf. My dad's going to be there. 20 people are going to have a chance to win. The winner will be announced on Thursday Night Football. Not here on this stream. The Raiders group in North Carolina is going to do the announcing. But if you want to hang out with Chugs and I, September 7th, September 8th, before the game gets kicked off, hey, chatsports.com/topgolf, chatsports.com/week1. Both of those links are available to you in the description and comments on today's show. Let's go to the last one here. DJ Turner is making the Raiders 53-man roster. It's a lock. It's a believe it, baby. It's absolutely going to happen. 2 catches, 23 yards, and a touchdown. You can see early on he's got some of that connection with Gardner Minshew and just able to show that they use him very similar to the way that they use a Tre Tucker. They're using him in pre-snap motion. They like his hands, and he's definitely gotten better as a receiver, especially as a route runner. Like, in a 5 to 10 route window, that's where Turner can really beat some people up in. I was impressed by him. He's done a good job being able to step up with, Devontae Adams still not being there, waiting for his baby boy. Jakobi Meyers, I thought, had a hell of a game today. Tre Tucker played well today. I mean, realistically, Jakobi Meyers, Tre Tucker's DJ Turner. I'm going to make another video, which you guys are going to see later on today, around some of the biggest winners and losers. Please go check it out. I don't know if all 3 of those guys are going to make it, but damn it, they deserve it. Hell, so does Brock Bowers. He deserves it. So that was our overreaction show, which we're going to try to get ballsy. I'll admit, doing an overreaction show for a preseason game seems kind of weird. But at the same time, I'm always going to provide content. I'm always going to be the person that's not afraid to give my opinion. And I think that's what makes this show great. That's what makes Raider fans great. Don't be afraid to give an opinion, even if it's an unpopular opinion. For more news and updates, though, follow me on IG and Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. And let's run through these Overreaction Sundays one more time. Aidan O'Connell is the quarterback 1. That is an overreaction, but I only say that because the QB battle is still close. I'd like to see Gardner go up against the Cowboys, get that start. Jakorian Bennett didn't start this game. Maybe starts next week against the Dallas Cowboys in a more pass-happy offense. Tyree Wilson didn't play well. Still an overreaction to call him a bust. I'm extended Tre'von Moehrig. We have the money to do it. DJ Turner is an automatic lock to make this roster. The next time that you're going to see Jeremy Chugs and I live, I'm going to go live on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, here on the Raiders Report.